For Victims and Villains, my name is Josh, and today we are talking about the latest offering from A24. This is A Different Man. Different Man tells the story of a struggling actor with a skin condition that undergoes an experimental surgery that ultimately reverses said condition, and kind of just exploring life after it. And it kind of gets a little bit meta from there, and I'll explain why. This movie, again, reminds me why Sebastian Stan is one of the best actors working in Hollywood today, and continuously just reminds me as to why Marvel is just completely underutilizing him. Like, I don't want to call this the performance of his career, but this is a really damn fine performance from him, and it is just completely fearless, and this is probably the most bold performance that I've come across from him yet in his career. Like, yes, his signature charm that you know and love from Bucky Barnes and movies like Fresh is still present here. This is one of the more complex characters that he's taken on over the years, so to kind of see him embrace this almost naked emotion for the first half of this movie and then kind of divulge into a lot of these just up and down emotional throughout the back half of this movie was just nothing short of incredible. With that too, I also want to point out Adam Pearson's role in this movie. This is the first time I've ever seen him in to any capacity, so this is my introduction to him, but what an incredible performance he gives here. Like, he's third billed in the movie, he's in all of the marketing for the film. I really wished, honestly, his role was a lot wider, because once his character got introduced into the story, it really started to challenge a lot of the charismatic portions of Stan's character, and just kind of seeing the two of them grow was a real special treat in this movie. Earlier this year, The Substance was very much a commentary on women's beauty standards in society, and this kind of feels like the male equivalent of that, just in a very much lighter tone. And the tone's really interesting to consider when you're talking about A Different Man, because it very much operates like a drama that slowly kind of transforms into almost a satire and lighthearted black comedy by the time that it reaches its end. Renate Reinsve, and I hope I really pronounced that name right, but she plays the friend slash kind of love interest of the Stan and Pearson characters. It's kind of complex to explain, but she delivers another outstanding performance. And when you're talking about performances across the board, even if actors only have one or two lines in this movie, they still show up and bring their A game. And it's really rare to see even smaller bit portions that you can say that about. And that comes from the direction of writer-director Aaron Schimberg, who not only gives a really profound script, but also executes and just has exquisite direction for this film. And with that said, I am ready to run this one through the Rorschach rating scale. I'm going to go ahead and give A Different Man a 4.5 out of 5. This is probably going to be one of the best hidden gems of this year. Not only does it boast a really vulnerable and just demonstrate the range of Sebastian Stan, it has an outstanding performance from Adam Pearson. It has incredible direction from its writer-director, Aaron Schimberg, as well as its entire cast and crew. This film speaks volumes on how we see not only ourselves, but also the underlining conversation of beauty and men's mental health in society as a larger conversation as well. If you guys have had a chance to see A Different Man, what did you think? Comment below and let me know. But on that note, let's talk about mental health. If you guys are new to our content, Mental Health Moment is where we will take a theme of mental health out of the film which we're reviewing, talk about it for a few moments, in the hopes to deconstruct the stigma surrounding mental health. Now, you can call this a trigger warning, but there is a character in this movie that does die by suicide, and in the following scene, following said death, there is two characters, Ingrid and Edward, who are talking and having an open dialogue about said suicide. Ingrid basically asks Edward if he would ever choose to die by suicide, and he kind of ponders it for a few moments and says, I don't know, maybe. And it's Ingrid's answer that I really want to kind of decompress and talk about, because she says, no, you're supposed to say no. Please stay. I was 17 years old the first time that I ever had someone close to me die by suicide, and it is a wound that still, on occasion to this day, even 15 years later, still gets open, and I still feel the pain from. It was his loss that ultimately ended up bringing me to start a platform like Victims and Villains to talk about just how big the issue of suicide really is. See, we find that suicide in 2022, the most recent statistics, that there were 49,000 people that died by suicide in 2022. We also learned that there are 3.8 million people that had made a plan for suicide, and for every single successful death by suicide, there were 25 more that had been attempted. That is 1.6 million suicides. 8.3% of American adults admit to having at least one depressive episode. And why am I sharing all of this with you? I'm sharing this all with you to let you know that if you or someone you know is currently going through suicide, or you're making a plan for suicide, you are not alone. I know it sounds really cliche to say that, but there are people out there that care and love you, whether that is a mother, a father, a significant other, a partner, a husband, a wife, children, grandparents, friends, colleagues. That list goes on and on. But just to kind of put that into perspective, those that have reportedly died by suicide were just those things as well. They were mothers, they were fathers, they were husbands, wives, brothers, sister, children, grandparents, partners. That list goes on and on and on. It is a strong reminder that we are not alone, that you are not alone. So if you or someone you know is struggling currently with suicide, addiction, self-harm, depression, anxiety, or anything else that's currently affecting their mental health, click the links in the show notes below. A Different Man is now playing in limited release from A24, but in the show notes below, you guys will find links to more movie reviews like this, links to our podcast network, social media, how to support us both through Patreon and Paramount Plus, as well as links to more information on our film festival and that subscribe button. So until next time, remember to stay classy. Have a good night.